Oh,
Ready when you are.
goodness.
Kylie, you're
Okay.
doing great.
Thank
You
you.
have your therapist face on. Good job.
Yeah, you do.
Amy, you're awesome too.
Okay.
All right, start.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm good, Kylie. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So last session, we talked about how you were leaving your church, and I wanted to check in. How did that go?
It went really well. As
Mhm.
well as any of those conversations to be expected. Our pastor told us that he confessed that the Lord had told him that we would be moving to the new church to Awaken in July, which we met with him September. So he had a little bit of a heads up from the Lord. He explained to us if we had said we were going to any other church, that we'd be having a whole conversation about what it means to hear from the Lord and discernment and wisdom and all of that. Um, so that was really good. And then we met with our life group and we told them none of them were surprised. They were all very respectful and they felt like they knew that that's where we were headed also. Um, but Kylie, I feel like the one thing that I messed up on was North Church had one senior pastor for about 20 years, and then he passed the baton to his son. And I told the son, who's our current pastor, and he told his wife, and then it kind of got out into the teams and stuff. But that first pastor, who was mine and my husband's pastor for like 15 years, he didn't hear it from us. And I felt so terrible. Like, even he was gracious. He was like, "Hey, I heard from the brand new pastor who doesn't know you at all that you were
Mhm.
leaving. And I just wanted to say we wish you well. We're so grateful to do ministry with you. Our doors open anytime you need to come back." Um, and I felt terrible. I felt like that meme that's going around that's like, we screwed up, like the kids, they're like, "Oh, we screwed up," but they don't use the screwed
Mhm.
up word, they use a different word. Um, that's how I felt about that. And then I called him right away. He didn't answer. And then I saw him at an event later and I was just mortified. Like,
Mhm.
we've been in relationship for 20 years. You shouldn't hear I'm leaving your church through somebody else. So that was a little bit rough for me. And as a, people pleaser and who wants to make people happy, I'm like, please don't let that have hurt him as a leader in ministry. You know what I mean? So that was the big, other than that, it went really well.
Um, why do you think it would hurt him?
Just as somebody who's done ministry for a long time, when you find out big things from people who you believe you're friends with or you're in close relationship with, and then you hear big things about them from other people, that's just hurtful. It means sometimes that your relationship wasn't on the same level or the same standard.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't want him to think that we wouldn't be friends if he wouldn't have been my pastor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you believe that your relationship with him is one-sided? Or not one-sided, but do you believe that your relationship isn't as close as you thought because you haven't told him?
Um, no,
Mhm.
no, it's really interesting because I've been there so long. I went from being like this new believer and then kind of up through this leadership thing. Um, I think that a lot of the leaders at that church see me as a peer now in
Mhm.
ministry. And sometimes I don't see myself in that manner. Does that make sense?
What
So,
manner do you see yourself as?
hmm,
What manner do you see yourself?
still like the student teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes I don't think about honoring them like peer to peer. It's really great because the woman who was the women's ministry leader and called me out and called me into leadership, she corrects me all the time when I'm like, oh, this is my mentor. And she's like, this is my friend, Amy. This is the gal I do ministry with. This is the gal I was ordained with. We were ordained 3 years ago today, together. And so she's like, no, you're a peer. It's not the pastor and the students or the disciples. Like, we're peers. And so sometimes I forget to treat the relationship of those who were my pastors now as peers. That's a good question, though.
So what I'm hearing is you forget to treat everyone as, or you forget that you are peers with other people, and that's how you feel with this pastor.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. As somebody who does ministry with him, and when our little church plant closed, I don't know if you know, in the Foursquare denomination, you have to have a church that holds your license. So when the church that I was licensed under closed, he was like, oh, come home. And he's held my license. And like, so to honor him in that. And yeah. And I worked with him at the church as peers. So to offer him information as such would have been beneficial, I think. Mm-hmm. But he's gracious. He's like, oh, it's no problem. I understand. And so it's not anything I can really like hold on to that I just need to move from.
Mm-hmm. And remind me, how did he hear again?
So we have a brand new pastor at that church, and she is overtaking the two teams that I oversaw, the hospitality and the prayer team. Mm-hmm. And so she was told that I was on sabbatical when she came on, and then she was told that I wasn't coming back. And so she told him, they were talking, and she was like, oh, do you know that the Ballards have left? So his text said, hey, Kelsey told me, which she's only been there 4 months. Mm-hmm. So somebody who doesn't even know me, because I was on sabbatical when she came on staff, told him.
Mm. How did she hear?
She was told by our pastor.
Okay. And he was the one who was told by the Lord in July?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So your pastor kind of announced it to the pastoral team?
Yes. Yep. Told the staff. Yep.
Okay. And he found out too. Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, it is what it is. So it's nothing that I'm like holding on to and should fret about.
That's really hard though.
It is. Yeah, it is hard. But I feel like doing ministry is hard.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, and I think, he's been in it the long run, like 20 years. So to worry, that's where my fear is. Like, pastors get hurt often by people in their congregation. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to add to that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why do you feel like, or why do you say it is what it is?
Well, I've apologized. Mm-hmm. He's accepted my apology. So it just is like, it's nothing that I should fret over. I have a terrible time of fretting over things that I can't really change. Mm-hmm. And so I try to just leave them at the feet of the Lord, and recognize when I'm fretting, and what I say in those moments of that is, it is what it is.
Mhm.
Right. There are some times when I just, because I can't fret anything away, can't fret
Mhm.
anything away, and I can't change what anybody thinks, or I can't change the fact that he heard it from somebody else. So
Mhm.
just is what it is.
Mhm.
My mom would say, it's just how it was meant to be,
10
which
Mhm.
minutes.
always irritated the crap out of me. Because I feel like there's so much more to it than that.
Mhm.
And I've brought it back to this, like, it is what it is. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
So now we are 1 week into attending our new church, and then we
Mhm.
left and we came to Billings. So now we have this whole new dynamic of church happening. I remember I've been in that church for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And so my husband and I were talking tonight, like, kind of the big next thing is meeting with our new pastor and his wife, and just saying, like, I am ordained. I have my license. We've been volunteers for years. Like, what do you want? What do you expect from us? And kind of having that expectations talk, like set the,
Mhm.
what's that with the relationship, when you have the relationship talk about, like, what's your expectations
Mhm.
for it? There's a phrase for it. I can't remember though.
Yes. Um, mm, would you like to go through maybe what you would like that conversation to look like?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Mhm.
That'd be great. And it's two different conversations because
Okay.
my sweet husband is not a pastor. He's a great volunteer, and he's got some ideas about what we should do. And so our new pastor, talking to him and setting those expectations for him, and then the expectations for me as somebody who's licensed and ordained, like, what sort of help do they want from us?
Mhm.
Yeah. When we first met with them, we said we're just going to wade in slowly. Like, we just
Mhm.
want to, tell me if you think this is wrong. I want to just attend the church for a couple of weeks and get it to where people see me and recognize me, and not know that I'm a pastor, because
Mhm.
I feel like once the titles are brought out, there's a shift in expectations, there's a shift in relationships, and
Mhm.
I want to have some relationships down, um, to then be able to say, oh no, I'm the same person that you talked to last Sunday,
Mhm. Mhm.
was doing ministry with you and hanging out with you. Like, nothing
Mhm.
changes. Nothing changes.
Right.
Do you think that that would be deceitful?
I think that the way that you go about it is important. And I think that the way that you're going about it is not deceitful. In fact, I think it's admirable. Um, Especially since you are just entering a new church, and like you said, there's different expectations that people will hold you to, and sometimes people can hold you to a standard that may not, something that an expectation or a standard that you can't meet
Mm-hmm.
when they hear that you're a pastor. Um, I think that that's just something that doesn't need to be said right now. And you want to go in slow, and you just ultimately want to make a new community without all the P's and Q's, and that's totally okay.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
okay to take it slow. It's okay to not, especially since it'd be different if you were going to be on the pastoral staff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't need to know that you are a pastor straight on. Um, so I think whatever you think is best.
All right, good. I have a tendency to overshare.
Mhm.
It's okay. I'm authentic. Here's all of me, and sometimes that's a little much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Yeah. So it's good. So yeah, my husband and I were just talking in the car tonight about how to meet up with the pastor and his wife and just kind of talk about like
Mhm.
because they can't bring me on a staff, but I can be like volunteer staff.
Mhm.
I have the time and the capacity to do that and help them in that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so that's kind of our next steps for that.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I'm nervous.
Mhm.
It's like going to a new school. Like I'm
Yeah.
nervous. What if they
New
don't like me,
people.
Kylie?
You are lovely. I'm sure people will love to meet you and to be in community with you.
Oh, thank you. That's very sweet.
Um, it looks like we're almost at our time, but do you have any other wrapping up thoughts?
Um, I don't think I have any wrapping up thoughts. I think that maybe I just need to um take action and be like, okay,
Mhm.
by the time we meet next time, I need to invite them over for dinner. I feel like having them
Mhm.
over for dinner, because it's a community church, it's in our small community, and my husband and I live there, and that pastor and his wife don't. They grew up there, but they don't live there
Mhm.
currently. So I feel like I need to have them over for dinner and start that way. They have a little girl who's the same age as my granddaughter. So I was like, oh,
Mhm.
I'll have my granddaughter over and she
Mhm.
and Riley can hang out. And then we can just talk about what they need, what their expectations are. So
Mhm.
that's kind of my homework by the time we meet next.
Okay. Do you have any lingering feelings? Anything that you would like to just maybe you can take a deep breath or do a grounding exercise before we head out?
Uh no, I think I'm okay, but
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to make sure that you're okay and that walking out of here, um, you are in your best state.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll
Okay.
see you next time.
Yes, I will see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.